The sun beats down. He stands alone, weathered, silent, holding folded American flags. A car speeds by. Go sell those somewhere else, Grandpa. Laughter. Dust. Gone. He doesn't move. A faded sign reads, "Flags for the Fallen," by a veteran who remembers. Crowds pass. No one stops. He adjusts one flag, gently, still standing, still honoring, even when no one's watching. A group of teenagers, phones held high, circle him. One, skinny and loud, mimics his stance, a shaky voice yelling, "Look at this antique, selling memories. What's next? Sand from Normandy." Their laughter, sharp and cold, cuts through the morning air. He doesn't turn his head. His grip on the flags in his arms tightens, knuckles white. A delivery truck rumbles by, too close, splashing muddy water across his display. The brown streaks mar the pristine white of a star. The driver doesn't slow. He calmly reaches for a faded handkerchief, wiping the mud with a gentle, almost reverent touch, treating the fabric as if it were a fallen brother's uniform. Two businessmen, crisp suits, hurried steps, pass by. One glances, then mutters to his companion, loud enough to carry, "What kind of vet sells flags like fruit? Something's off about that." He hears it. His expression remains a mask of quiet endurance. A police cruiser slows, its presence a silent question. The officer inside, uniform sharp, eyes him suspiciously. A clipboard appears, a quick check of a permit. No words, no nod, just a cold, professional assessment before the cruiser pulls away, leaving a void of unacknowledged service. The officer's own service pins glint on his chest, a stark contrast to the silent disconnect. He adjusts the hand-painted sign beside him. Flags for remembrance, honoring the unforgotten, wiping away a faint smudge. His movements are slow, deliberate, each action a testament to a purpose deeper than profit. He sees a woman in a minivan pull over, roll down her window. "Do these come from China?" she asks, her voice laced with suspicion. "No, ma'am," he replies, his voice steady. "I stitched these with my own hands. Each star sewn individually." She rolls up her window, unconvinced, and drives away. His knees tremble slightly. The titanium pins holding his left leg together ache in the rising heat, a constant throb. He leans against the wooden stand for a moment, a brief, almost imperceptible shift of weight, trying not to show the weakness that threatens to buckle him. Still no sales. The morning's hope, thin as it was, fades with each passing indifferent car. He holds one particular flag closer than the others, its fabric softer, worn from countless touches. A single, perfectly stitched star gleams faintly. This one is for Paul. Always for Paul. A flash, dust, the smell of burning earth. A young face, Paul's face, pale against the crimson sky. A hand, Elias's hand, clasping his friend's, a silent vow passing between them. "Don't let them forget us, Bill." The words echo, not spoken aloud, but felt deep in his bones, a promise etched into his very soul. Paul, gone too soon, a name carved into a memory that never fades. That promise, made 50 years ago, fuels every stitch, every fold of these flags. Each one holds a name, a face, a story of courage that would otherwise be lost. The worn medals in his pocket, heavy and cool, press against his thigh, reminders of valor now forgotten by a world rushing by at 70 miles an hour, too busy to notice the price paid for their hurry. The sun climbs higher, a relentless hammer on his head. His faded blue shirt sticks to his back, soaked. His legs ache, a dull, persistent throb from Kessan, a wound that never quite healed right. Titanium pins holding his left leg together scream in the heat. All morning, no one has stopped, not even for a second glance. His small cooler of water is empty, a dry rasp in his throat. Hope, a fragile thing, dwindles with each passing car. He thinks about packing up early today. His arthritis flares, a sharp, biting pain. The heat is oppressive, suffocating. Maybe tomorrow would be better. Maybe someone would listen. Maybe the world would remember, if only for a moment. A passing truck splashes muddy water onto his display. The driver doesn't even slow down. He wipes the mud from one of his flags, carefully, treating the fabric with the reverence of a man handling a fallen brother's belongings. Just as he's about to make the decision to pack up for the day, another day of memories offered but not received, an elderly couple's car slows. The man inside, perhaps a veteran himself, offers a solemn salute through the window. Elias returns it, a brief, silent moment of recognition. It's enough. Just enough to sustain him for another hour. He adjusts the flag in his hands, the one he made specifically for Paul, the one he'd promised Paul's mother he'd pass forward. One flag, one story, one name at a time. A promise that felt increasingly impossible to keep, yet he stands. Because standing is all he has left to give. Because someone has to remember. A deep hum fills the air, different from the usual traffic noise. Purposeful. Powerful. Heads turn. Conversations across the street at the gas station die mid-sentence. The teenagers, previously loud and mocking, lower their phones, suddenly silent, their faces a mix of confusion and awe. A sleek black SUV, government plates glinting, slows to a stop right beside him. Tinted windows reveal nothing. The engine idles, a low, steady rumble, the only sound in the suddenly hushed intersection. The window rolls down, inch by slow inch. Then the door opens. A man steps out. Precisely tailored navy blue suit. Broad shoulders, sharp eyes that miss nothing, scanning the area with practiced efficiency. Secret Service agents follow, their movements fluid, watchful. The crowd across the street is frozen. History itself seems to pause. The man walks straight to Elias. No hesitation, no uncertainty. He stops directly in front of him. Chief Warrant Officer William Daniels. A voice carries across the suddenly silent intersection. A voice recognized by millions. Elias nods slowly, his weathered hand instinctively moving toward a salute. Yes, sir. The man returns the salute crisply. It's an honor to meet you, Chief. My father served with your unit in Vietnam. You saved his life at Quang Tri in '68. Gasps ripple from across the street. The gas station worker, who had mocked him earlier, drops his coffee cup. Brown liquid spreads across the concrete, unnoticed. The man turns to face the growing crowd, his voice carrying without effort. This man has stood out here day after day, not for money, but for memory, for the promise he made to fallen brothers. Every flag he holds a name, a story, a sacrifice that most of us have never had to make. He turns back to Elias, gently taking one of the flags from his hands. May I, Chief Daniels? Of course, Mr. President. Elias's voice is steady, though his eyes glisten. The president kneels, his security detail visibly tense, and places the flag carefully on the sidewalk. He stands, facing the now silent crowd. From this day forward, this off-ramp will carry the name of Chief Warrant Officer William Daniels, patriot, soldier, keeper of memory, a man who reminds us that freedom isn't maintained by forgetting its cost. News crews, following the presidential motorcade, capture everything. One clip goes viral within minutes. President honors elderly flag seller. Turns out, he was a decorated war hero who saved President's father. Cars begin pulling over, lining both shoulders of the road, not just to buy flags, but to shake Elias's hand, to thank him, to listen to the stories behind each carefully folded triangle of red, white, and blue. The teenagers who had mocked him return, their heads bowed. One awkwardly attempts a salute. Another asks if they could volunteer tomorrow to help him set up. The gas station worker crosses the street, hands him a cold bottle of water, whispers, "I'm sorry, sir. My grandfather was in Vietnam too. I should have known better." The president, prepared to leave, places a hand on Elias's shoulder. Chief, the White House would be honored if you'd come speak to our military staff next month. Your story of remembrance needs to be heard. Elias nods, standing tall despite his fatigue. I'd be honored, Mr. President, but only if I can bring my flags. I wouldn't have it any other way, the President replies, his respect evident in every word. As the motorcade departs, a man approaches Elias, tears in his eyes. Sir, my brother died in Afghanistan. Would you make a flag for him too? Elias places a gentle hand on the man's shoulder. Tell me his name, son. Every name deserves to be remembered. 1 week later, a gleaming new sign is unveiled at the highway off-ramp, William Daniels Patriot Point, where memory lives. Elias still stands there every morning, not because he needs to anymore, but because he wants to, because now his promise can be kept. The wooden crate is now filled with thank you notes from across the country. The flag pile is always empty by noon, with orders backed up for weeks. A group of school children comes by every Friday morning, sitting cross-legged on the grass as he tells them the story behind each flag, each name, each face, each act of courage that would otherwise be lost to time. One of them, a girl with curious eyes, asks, Mr. Daniels, why do you still do this when you're famous now? Elias smiles gently. Because when the world forgets, someone has to remember. That's the real battle that never ends. That afternoon, a new vehicle pulls up. This time, it isn't black. It's red, white, and blue. A custom van, painted with flags and the faces of the fallen from Elias's unit. On the seat, in bold letters, Honor doesn't expire. And above it, just one name, Daniels. Inside, enough room for all his flags, his stories, and a new generation. Ready to listen